Welcome back to What's in Your Leadership Backpack. Shannon and Conrad here with a guest, Brandon. Brandon's here with us today as we kick off our 2023 sessions. We wanted to invite in some more voices into What's in Your Leadership Backpack.
Thank you.
Brandon is an entrepreneur. There's going to be a full write-up about his bio, so you can check that out in the link or in the post or whatever you call it. And we're going to roll right on.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Cool. So I guess we should ask you a question or something. So Shannon, what do we want to ask Brandon?
Yeah, so part of the reason we want to do this whole series with interviews is so that we can get some more voices into the space around leadership, and more specifically, like how people are really applying very specific tools in their day-to-day. So the question is, Brandon, what is a leadership tool that you use that you're really leaning into right now?
Sure. Great. I think one of the tools I use the most currently is around listening. And when I say listening, I think there's different kinds of listening. There's somewhat distracted listening, and then there's true listening where your laptop screen is your laptop is closed and you're making eye contact with the people that you're listening to. And you're really active in the conversation. You're asking questions. Like, I think for me, that's an important part of listening. If you're not asking questions, it's kind of an indicator that you might not be actually listening to the person that you're collaborating with.
Yeah, I'm appreciating that. It's important, essential skill of listening. Brandon, where do you find that easy to listen?
Where do I find it easy? In terms of the types
like
of
where's it
naturally?
like when's it naturally showing up for you? Or you could look at where it's hard too, either way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy when you're a part of it's easy when you're trying to accomplish a goal together. For me, it's when two people are have the same goal. The listening part is easy. When you might have different goals, or your paths are diverging, it's at those times that I find listening to be hard. And I guess that all goes back to, well, you got to make sure you're all on the same, you're all trying to achieve the same thing. And if you're not, maybe that's a sign that you should be taking the conversation back further in terms of ensuring that you all are working towards the same thing. So maybe listening is a tool that can be almost a gauge for you, or for me it is, where if you're not listening well, perhaps you, the listener, needs to think about, why is that happening? Is it just the content? Are you distracted, or is it a goal? Is there a goal that you're not working towards, or you're not working towards the same goal that the person is that you're trying to listen to? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I like too how you talk about how it's harder to listen when we're not on the same page with other people. That there's something that happens when there's a lack of alignment. It actually becomes harder to listen, which is interesting, because that's exactly when we need to be listening even more, is when right?
Yeah, no, that's true. Like, it is definitely more challenging when you are thinking about something else, or you have certain goals you need to hit, and this person has other goals that they're trying to hit. It certainly doesn't work. You're listening to how this person is going to work with you to achieve a goal, but if the goal is different, it just doesn't work. So
being on the same page, reducing distractions, those are all things that make it easy to grab onto this listening tool. Anything else you want to share as we bring this to a close?
No, I think, I think listening can be applied to all facets of life. So definitely in work for sure, but being a leader, but also, sometimes if you find that sometimes if you find a situation where you need to get people to talk more so that you can listen more, I find asking general questions, like, what do you think? Or you don't always have an answer, right? So maybe if you want to start the process of getting other folks' thoughts, I think it's pretty easy. There's some pretty easy language that you can use in order to help start that conversation where you can actually actively listen. So, and the easiest one is, what do you think about this? Instead of providing a solution, I think a good leader is typically always listening to lots of solutions and then trying to figure out the best one. So an easy way to do that is just a simple question. What do you think? I don't know. And then let that person talk about what it is or why they think it's a certain way or what their strategy is.
Absolutely. The asking open-ended questions, listening, those go together. So tools for success for Brandon, entrepreneur, read all about him. My experience of him is a genuinely amazing human being, and it's a gift that he chose to come on to What's in Your Leadership Backpack. Brandon, thanks for coming, man.
Thanks, Shannon. Thanks, Conrad. Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Be
Brandon.
well. See you next time.
Thanks.